Sure is.
Everybody, and welcome to another episode of Who's That Anime with your host Steve and Colin. And this week, we're not
It's our
talking about.
musical episode.
I mean, I don't want to injure people's ears any more than I usually do.
But Buffy had a musical episode. I'm sure we can, right?
Maybe after like actually extensive training, and
Fair,
and,
fair, fair, fair.
you know, 'cause I certainly ain't no singer,
Oh, me neither. Me neither.
and going by the fact that our episodes last between half an hour to an hour. I
Yeah, I feel
think,
like we would have to. Yeah, it would have to be shorter.
yeah, and also, not to mention, I assume that we have to be paying compensation to people's ears at some point.
Yes, that's probably also true.
Uh, anyway, so I was going to say, we're here, we're back for another week, and this week we're not talking about Trigun because Trigun finished last week.
Trigun be done.
Yeah, be done, but we did have some time to go and see the movie Suzume.
Suzume,
Suzume. That's the one.
you're
Suzume.
you're thinking you're thinking of Haruhi.
Haruhi Suzume. Well, we did cover that for about half a year too.
Oh, that was time. Time was taken.
Time was taken for that, and then time was taken for Steins Gate.
Yes,
Yes,
so
yes.
much time.
They're probably our longest ones. Yeah. So we went to see the movie, and now we're going to talk about the movie and give you all the facts that I
Yes,
remember. There was a door.
yes.
There was a magical being. He get turns
Yep,
into a chair.
yep,
And a cat appears that can talk. Another
yep,
cat appears that can talk.
yep,
A big serpent dragon thing appears and tries
yep, yep,
to destroy the movie
yep,
town of Japan and earthquakes
yep.
and a journey through Japan,
I
a
think
magical
that's
journey.
pretty much it. It's the whole movie.
Yeah, that's the movie. Oh, and the chair comes back to a dude.
That's two hour. Yeah, spoilers for Suzume. Uh the it's like it's over 2 hours long, isn't it?
No, yeah, I think it was actually, wasn't it? It's just
Um,
it's like something.
yep, just over 2 hours long.
Hmm.
So I did say before we started recording, I would give a lovely fact about Suzume. Uh,
Mhm.
One interesting thing I didn't really appreciate is that it's been a pretty big box office success.
Yeah. How big?
Um, 319.8 million worldwide box office.
Compared to what is that?
I mean, if I go to uh the top earning movies of all time,
You'll get
it's probably
Avengers
not going to be on that
Endgame,
list. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, there's that. Avengers Endgame is 2.8 billion.
and that had
So
to run
whole
twice.
other, yeah,
That cheated.
yeah. So did Avatar, I think, in the end up.
Did Avatar cheat? Well,
Yeah, I think Avatar went back to the cinemas before the new one came out, and it's now nearly at 3 billion.
released the movie after 10 years
Oh yeah,
to
oh
bring
yeah.
people back in. Yeah.
So
Cheat.
interestingly, like, okay, so it's not in the top 200 movies of all time, right?
Okay.
That's all time though.
Mm-hmm.
So if I keep going,
Uh-huh.
300 and 320 million. We're not in the top 400 movies of all time,
Okay.
but oh,
Oh,
has this been updated to include this? I'd hope so. Doesn't seem to be. That's weird.
I mean, you just go by the figure of how much they've included.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure when this was last updated then, but it certainly looks to me 13, 319, 319.8 puts it as the 490th biggest picture in history.
I mean, people generally stop counting at 10, but it's
I mean,
impressive.
but above the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, just.
The original.
Uh, yep.
I,
Above the Lego Batman movie,
I still
above
haven't watched
the
that.
second Austin Powers movie, um,
Yeah.
above the Oscar-winning Pursuit of Happiness. Or was it Oscar-winning? I don't know. It was pretty big deal. Above Chicago. Like impressive.
So what
It beat
about?
Rocky 4.
Yeah, but Rocky movies aren't that great.
Oh, that's a lie. You're lying.
I, I just don't. I haven't watched them. Haven't
Oh
interested me.
God, Colin, they're so good. They're so
Nah,
good.
I don't. I don't really like Stallone.
Made more than Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Yep. Made more
Compare.
than The Departed.
So, like, what was the? What do you say the next biggest anime movie?
I don't know. I mean, you're probably looking at like Spirited Away, right?
Yeah, I was thinking that was probably the biggest one, since.
Yeah, 395 million. So,
And what was that one?
God, that budget conversion is disgusting. Budget of 19.2 million, and it made nearly 400 million. There's no budget for Suzume referenced here. So,
Yeah, there you go,
but
folks.
interesting nonetheless.
Yeah. So what was it? What was the figure again?
13.9. Oh, actually, shit. Yeah, like 13.9 million. Actually, more than is listed in the Wikipedia page. It's gone up.
13.9 million.
Yeah. All time international box office rank 252, apparently.
Oh, okay.
I
I
don't see
mean,
how that's. Oh, that's international box office only. Right. Okay. Worldwide 485th. So it's the top 500 movies of all time for box office take. It is in the top 200 all time domestic box office for digital animation. So that's in Japan.
okay.
Uh, yeah, like that's crazy.
How much did Spirited Away make?
Oh, like 400 million.
And this only made
Uh,
390,
320.
320.
Yeah.
That's not short. It's not too shy off it compared to.
No, I mean you probably fix for inflation. It probably brings it a little bit closer, a little bit further away rather. But
Okay.
um,
Go. Well,
yeah,
there you go.
that's interesting as well. Is that the domestic box office for both of them? So the box office in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
uh, 10 point. Suzume actually made just a little bit more at the domestic box office,
See,
ever
Studio
so slightly.
Ghibli's. It's all for the Western audience.
Well, it is interesting because, like, to keep talking a little bit about Suzume before we get into the movie, we've already covered um, one of the movies by Makoto Shinkai when we did Your Name not that long ago. Well, actually, it was a while ago now, but we did that.
Last year.
Yeah, and we both really enjoyed that.
Uh huh.
Um,
Didn't watch the
but
second one. He did.
no, so I had a quick look through the list of his other work, um, and where are we? Here we go. Film. So the latest, of course, was Suzume. Weathering You, I think, was the one you said you had watched and enjoyed.
No, I
No,
lied.
sorry, you lied.
I
Okay,
lied. I didn't watch it. I was thinking it was that one, but it was a different one that I mentioned to you, and you went, "Oh,
right.
this one." And I was like, yeah,
And
that's
you went, yeah, that one.
that one, yeah.
Well, the one prior to this was Weathering You, and before that was Your Name.
Uh-huh.
Before that was The Garden of Words.
Wait, hang on. Maybe I did it. Watch that one. Garden of Words.
Garden of Words.
Garden of Words.
Film focuses on Akizuki, an aspiring 15-year-old shoemaker.
Yeah, that's the one I watched.
Okay, you watched that one.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was the same guy.
Yeah, yeah. Same guy.
It's on Netflix.
Uh, awesome. I'll need to give that one a look.
He said that when I
There's
mentioned it to
also
you the other week.
yes. There's Children Who Chase Lost Voices in 2011. There's 5 centimeters per second.
Oh yeah, did I watch that one too? I remember hearing about that one. That was a big thing. It came out way back.
I think he's been working. It seems like short films up until 2003,
Mm-hmm.
and then started doing feature length in 2004. The first one was called The Place Promised in Our Early Days.
Okay.
Um, the same studio, I believe. Is it? Yes, or the same production company, Comics Wave Films. Not sure about the animation studio though, which is quite interesting. But um, either way, I think one of the things that's interesting is reading into like how his things review and what the perception of him is generally. Is he is sort of referred to as the new Miyazaki.
Yeah, at the moment.
Uh, yeah, and I can get that.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So watch the words of the garden of words.
Let me find the name. Yeah, the Garden of Words. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kotonoha no Niwa.
Where there's a guy, this guy's off school and likes the rain, so he goes to this place in a park.
Well, we better
And
save it because we might talk about it one day. Because it's judging by our desire to enjoy these movies, I'd suggest we probably will at some point.
yeah, but I can reference back to it.
Yeah,
I said this, and this is what I said, and
you did say that.
then that's be a very short episode. Let's keep talking like, yeah. So I watched it though.
Please, please refer to this episode where I actually talked about this.
Yeah, but we got to do that.
Oh
Like,
no!
you got to go reference your old work so people will go and watch the old work or listen to the
Oh
old work
no!
and go back, and then you build up more views and you start the ball rolling, and we come like a big hit, and people give us money by just going, here, take my money, and we're like, we don't want your money, but take my money, and we don't want your money, take my money, we don't want your money. Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, maybe one day.
One
That day
day,
is not likely today.
or anytime in the near future. You never know.
No, no. To be fair, you're probably right. Also,
We're not really
uh,
looking for money, so don't
no,
give us money
no.
unless you really want to.
Unless you really want to, in which case we'll probably spend it on Crunchyroll.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have any way for taking your money, so
No, no, that's true.
send it
Uh,
send the
PO
answers
box.
on a postcard.
Yeah. Oh wait, how did Car Talk used to do this? PO box something something Matt 001 Massachusetts. I don't know. Car Talk Plaza. Send it there. I don't know if they don't have it. One of the guys is dead now, so maybe not.
All right. Okay.
Car Talk. It's good shit.
It was.
I'd still listen to it most weeks.
uh, so there you go, and
Yes.
then we're going to talk about Memories by another notable director
Yes.
and
But
author.
it's different directors' memories.
Yeah, but it's the same author.
Yes.
It's how he started off. he started writing short
Yeah.
story sci-fi mangas, and then created one of the biggest anime movies of all time.
Yes. Biggest, I would almost say.
It's the name that everyone knows but hasn't really watched or don't understand because the movie is absolutely incomprehensible in what's actually going on.
We're still talking about Akira, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, and then Akira is like, it starts off with a
Yeah.
motorbike gang fight with the doo 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 do 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 do. No, it's not that. But yeah, it starts off with the best music in it, and then it's all done by a choir. Well, all voice, vocal, I believe. Might have
Yeah.
some instruments in there, but it's all vocal. Uh, yeah, and then meet a magical boy. Somehow it activates like magical powers in this other dude, and doctors get excited by him. Where people with a bit more sense is like, yeah, we should probably put him down because he's going to just do what Akira did to us like 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Akira's good. I like Akira. You're right. It is borderline incomprehensible for the most part, but it's a very good 2.5 hours incomprehensible, or however long it is. I feel like it's really long.
It's not that long. It's like 90 minutes, I
Oh, it's
think.
two, no, 2 hours and 4 minutes. So
2
it's
hours?
it's pretty long. Yeah, it's long.
So maybe it is. But anyway, yeah, so it's a good movie. It's just,
Yes.
it's, what do you call it?
91% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, but what is it? What would you call it? It's just candy floss for your eyes.
I don't know. I think it's deeper than that.
I have a bit deeper bit in it. It's like you got a
But
hero, an anti-hero, before an anti-hero were cool, and he goes and saves him, and he wants to save his friend who's turned into a big monster, so he gets a big laser cannon and shoots him in the face multiple times.
I mean, that is a perfect summary of Akira.
I mean, that's one part of it.
It's the whole movie.
It's the whole movie.
Um, it's the whole movie.
He just wants to go
Um,
and shoot his friend in the face for he stole his bike.
he did steal his bike, didn't he?
I mean, read the manga. It's got a bit more of a storyline in it.
Yeah. I mean, I probably need to. Anyway,
I got the first
continue
volume.
on to the thing we're here to talk about that we've not talked about just yet.
Yeah, I'm filling it in because we watched this 2 weeks ago, and
So
I told you pretty much why.
you've told me the whole. Basically, the movie is about Suzume, who is a high school girl who is living with her aunt.
Yes.
The movie starts off with what we presume is her as a really young kid walking through the snow, or not the is it snow? I don't know. Walking through what looks like a demolished, war torn maybe, or like natural disaster torn environment,
Mm.
shouting for her mum, and we sort of see her giving up. And the last scene we get, the last thing we see before it goes to modern day, where Suzume is living with her aunt, is her seeing this woman standing behind her in the day,
I
and
thought
I was thinking, it's like, oh shit, who's that?
I thought she was in a magical field.
Sort of magical field, but also completely ruined. Like there's like wrecked houses and
Oh
derelict
yeah,
buildings.
yeah.
But yeah,
Uh,
you're right. It's a semi magical field.
Semi-magical field, and then she hears her name getting shouted. Suzuha, Suzumi,
Yes,
Suzu.
Suzume.
Suzume.
Yes, we'll get there.
If anything, you guys come to listen to me mispronounce names in terrible ways.
I
This is why
mean,
you listen to this, right?
they definitely. I mean, that's definitely what's happening.
Every episode, I got to pronounce a name, and I go Jim Ball the Third. Um, yeah. So anyway, yeah. So that's right. And then it goes
Yep,
Suzume, and then she wakes up.
yep.
Uh,
And we start the nice musical intro with the song.
do do
Uh,
do do do
stop.
do 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 do
That's the
do
song.
do
Just-
do 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 do.
And at the end of we get to the credits, and basically what we see is it's Suzume. She's going to go to school,
Mhm,
hang out with her friends, um, discussing when her mom will be back. Not her mom, her aunt rather. And
mhm.
she's like, "Oh, do you have a date?" And she's like, "No, no, I don't. That's enough. Quiet you. That's not what's happening here."
The
So she
date?
ends up, yeah, heading away to school, um, taking her
Oh,
bike with a bike lock. That's the locks and keys are a big thing in this
yeah.
film. A lot of lavish shots of keys going into
Locks.
locks and
Yeah, there
unlocking.
was. Yeah, there is. Yeah. I mean, it's all about doors.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
So that,
We kind
that's
of find that out.
the aunt was going on the date.
She wasn't though. She wasn't going on a date.
No, she was just working late.
Yeah. She's just working late with a guy who we find out has a bit of a thing for her anyway.
Yeah.
Um, so basically, what happens is she's on her way to school when she's cycling away. She's sort of freewheeling it down a hill
Hmm.
and sees a beautiful man with luscious long hair
Hmm.
walking up the hill in the opposite direction, and she kind of slows to a crawl as she passes him.
On the
They
bike.
kind of on the bike, yeah, meeting eyes a little bit, but not much. And then she hears him say, "Hey, you. Um, do you happen to know where there's any? Does he ask specifically? Are there any doors around
Yeah,
here?"
he does say, yeah.
It's like, oh, or
In the abandoned
yeah,
doors
any
or something.
abandoned areas. Yeah, that's something like that. And she's like, "Oh, well, maybe up by the old place where there was a lot of damage done during some sort of natural disaster, which, as I guess we'll find out later, is sort of linked directly to a degree to things."
Yeah.
She tells him that, and he goes like, "Oh, hey, thanks very much," and then walks away. Um, she then continues to cycle to school,
Hmm.
gets to school, and her friends are like, "Oh, you're here," and then she's like, "I don't." I think it's like maybe I should actually maybe I should go. And what is it? There's a reason, but she basically ends up doubling back.
Uh, yeah, because she's like, I recognize that person.
Yes,
She's like looking at him and was like, I know that person.
yes.
I know, where do I know him from? Type thing.
So
Uh,
so
and then,
she heads over there.
yeah, heads on over.
And no wait, does she get there before him? She does.
Yeah, she does. Well, he doesn't know there,
Uh,
does he?
that's true. She gets there before him, and she finds in amongst all this wreckage this lonely door stood up in a sort of pool of water. Um,
Yeah, I think it was a bathhouse or something.
yes, yes, that's right. And she walks in and kind of ankle deep water, walks over to the door and just opens it up to this kind of that skyline. I think that we've seen in the start, as you talked about, that kind of magical field.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh shit!" and tries to walk in, and she's there for like a second, and then walks
Huh.
out the other side.
Yeah.
and then that proceeds to be back and forward like, I want to go back. Where is that? I've seen that before. And
Yeah.
she can't get there.
Yeah. And then she stubs her toe on a stone
She
statue or
does,
something.
yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
and then she picks it up. And then goes, "This is cold," and it thaws out in her
Hmm.
hand because it's full of ice.
Yep. And it
And then
turns out it's a cat.
it's a cat. It was a cat
For
all
whatever
along.
reason. It was a cat all along.
Yeah,
And then the
magical
cat
cat.
fucks off.
Yeah, cat fucks off. I was like, bye. And
Yep.
then what happens? So basically, she kind of leaves because she doesn't see the guy.
Yeah, well, after the whole cat thing, what else can you do? So she just ends up leaving, um, and then going to school. And they're like, where the hell did you go? And he's like, oh, seeing a thing. And then she's sitting talking to her friends in class, and all of their phones go off
Mhm.
to signify an emergency. And obviously, it's related to an earthquake. And
Yeah.
she looks out the window and sees this smoke, this kind of red and black smoke billowing from the area that she's just been. And she's
Mhm.
like, what? And they're like, what are you looking at? What's going on? You don't see any of that? Nope, none of that. And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's like, no, you should be able to see this by now.
Yeah.
Something's gone horribly wrong.
Yeah. And then she kind of darts out the place and goes back to the
Yep.
door.
Yeah. And obviously finds the guy from earlier
Mhm.
um, desperately trying to close this door uh, to stop whatever this big black and red smoke snake is that's coming out.
Yeah. And she gives a hand, I believe.
She does, yeah. She helps him. She helps him close it.
Yep.
And while after it's closed, he brings out a key from his neck, like a chain in his neck, and just kind of like smashes it into the lock. He says a kind of I don't want to say battle cry, sort of like a
Chant. It basically,
it's like an
basically
incantation that
a prayer of some sort to,
yeah, actually a prayer is a really good word for it. It's
because it was,
basically saying, "Oh, you've protected us for so long, uh, you know, something, something, something. Now shut the door, God damn it!"
oh gods, shut the door.
Yeah,
Grant me your power, He-Man.
I was gonna say, is it He-Man?
May as well be He-Man or something along those lines. It could be give me the strength of the bear. Brave Star.
Speed of the Puma.
Speed of the puma. Eyes of the eagle.
That's how it works.
Oh man, this just reminds me of
Uh,
Hot Rod, the movie now.
okay, I've got it. I've got it. It's divine gods who dwell beneath this land. You've protected us for generations. Your mountains and rivers that have that have called our own. I return them to you.
Hmm.
That's it.
Okay, yeah, so not Brave Star, not He Man,
No,
and
it's not that. No.
but more closely Hot Rod.
Yes.
Give me the power of the eagle to help me fly through this stunt.
And then die.
Ah! All his stunts are so massively
Classic.
they were pretty good.
Classic. Oh
Anyway,
wow! I've actually I have found as a result of looking up that quote a Christian movie review
oh,
of Suzume.
Chris,
False
it's
pleas to false gods. Uh, the content rating is a -4 for Christians. It says intentional blasphemy, evil, gross immorality, and or worldview problems to be avoided.
Yeah, well, you can't really blame Japan for that. They kind of did just they did ostracize like all Christians out of the land for many centuries.
Oh, for sure. But hey,
Crazy.
I absolutely disagree with this review. Anyway, so yeah, they managed to close the door. He says it's I think it's like well, we'll find out later. Basically, he's one of a group of people who are called closers, and it's their job to stop these things. And of course, the reason he has the job is that he can see what's happening. So he it's his whole thing.
Mhm.
During the whole thing, he is actually injured. His arm gets cut during the whole palaver, and then he realizes that she has awoken the keystone, the Eastern Keystone. I think is
No Western,
that
I
right?
thought. I would say
Is it the
Western.
Western?
I would say
Yeah, I
it's
think you're right.
Western
Actually,
because they head east.
yes. Sorry, you're right. It's the Western Keystone.
Because
Yeah.
Tokyo's on the
So
east,
that yeah,
so they're on the
we'll
south.
find that out later. That there's more. That there's two. But basically, it turns out that cat was a very important thing that was kind of helping keep the old gods at bay in
Hmm.
the realm below. Uh, but now that, of course, the cat is awake
Hmm.
and gone, that's an issue.
Yeah, that's 100% an issue. So
She
anyway,
takes him back to her place.
so she can bandage him up because she wants to be a
Yes,
nurse when she grows older.
she does. And it's yeah, she does a fine job of bandaging him up. And this is where we get a little bit of the explanation of he's a closer. This is his job. It's what he does. Um, and then they kind of talk about it's like so you can see
Hmm.
the things
Can,
the old gods coming through.
can we go back and
Oh
discuss
yeah,
about his job title?
a closer.
Closer.
Oh yeah, it's like cookies are for closers.
Cookies are for closers. Is it not like is it not like someone's closing the deal, like maybe
Yeah,
assassin style? He's a closer.
I'm very sad that I just quoted Boss Baby.
I have never watched that, so I never picked up on
Yeah,
it.
you don't need to. You don't need to. It's
And
fine, I
then
guess.
yeah, it's better than what bit of software we're installing over on our network in my company.
What's it
Can't,
called?
well, it's called Microlab. Essentially, it's a soft phone. It's a software phone, but
M-
they have a window
Michael app.
Microlab,
Huh.
Micolab from
Uh huh.
Mitel to do phones,
Okay.
office based phones.
Okay.
Anyway, and the part of it is when you get a phone call, you get a window it opens up.
Uh huh.
They call this window a floater.
That that's a problem. You know, to a degree.
Yeah, it's not a good name for the for what that window is. It's a floater.
It's
I
like
mean, I might ask when over in Canada because it's a Canadian company or
okay.
the headquarters is in Canada.
It's like why did you do that?
I'm gonna go. If I said a floater to you, what would you think?
It's like oh that window in Microlab.
In Michael, yeah. Or the
Yeah.
thing it floats in your eye, like the bit of particle
Uh,
dust that you sometimes get when floating by your eye, like you scratch your
or
retina.
or just shit,
Or just the
which is
shit
the
that
other alternative.
it floats on the surface rather than sinks to the
Uh,
bottom.
Not ideal.
Uh, yeah. Anyway, there you go. Inappropriate names that people haven't really thought of the
Yes.
combinations in other
He,
languages.
yes. But he's a closer. That's his job. He closes doors. That's it. And obviously he and Suzume are exchanging names. We find out that his name is Sota.
Yeah, Sota.
Um, and just as we're sort of kind of getting into the back and forth between them, he's sitting in this little kid's chair. Uh, she's standing talking to him, and then that little cat appears. Daijin, as it shall be referred.
Yes.
Um, and
Like,
it's like, oh, Suzume, I like you. And then looks at him and goes, oh, you're in the way.
yeah. And
And all
then,
of a sudden, he's gone and the chair falls over.
yeah. Yeah, it only has 3 legs.
Yes, it does only have three legs, which is somewhat important, but also not.
Yes and no. And it's
Yes,
partly something from her childhood.
yes, it was something her mum made for her.
Yeah, which we'll find out later.
I don't know if we find that out later or if that's just in passing. We definitely see more about it later on.
I think she just remembers from brought it back from childhood. She remembers bringing it back as a
Oh, fair enough.
kid or something. And then there's a whole scene about her mother making it and
Yeah.
painting it and stuff like that.
But basically, what we have now is a situation where, oh shit, turns out Sota's a chair now. Daijin is running away
Mhm.
because my job is done. And Suzumi's like, oh shit, there's a guy, he was there, he's gone, and now he's a chair. Oh no.
I'm going to
And
explain it to my aunt.
yeah, and then the chair Sota goes, oh fuck, and just jumps out the window after the cat.
Yeah, I gotta go and get this. I gotta get this keystone.
Yep, gotta get it back. Um and she's like, head out the window and sees like a cat being chased by a three-legged chair all on its own, and people being like, what? What's happening?
Yeah, yeah.
She's like, oh shit, gotta get downstairs. Runs downstairs, sees her aunt. Her aunt's like, oh, what are you doing here? What's going on? And she's like, oh, I gotta go. Things to do. Bye. Studying.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Just abandoned ship.
Bandit shit. Yeah.
Yep.
And then chased
And
it.
then we get chase sequence.
Yeah. And they get to the dock,
Hmm.
and the cat runs on a boat, a ferry.
It
So they
does.
run on the ferry.
Yep.
Uh, um, and then she has like, and then it does a big jump off the deck onto another boat,
Yes.
and they're
Which
like,
it seems to be going the same way. So they're not on the same boat anymore, but yeah, they continue to stay on the ferry, as it were.
yeah,
Not that they had an option to get off.
your ferry is left,
Yeah.
and the on the way there is the guy in the fishing boat goes, "Hey, Suzume,"
Yep.
who's the guy who has interest in the ant.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. He's like, oh, hey.
Yeah,
She's like just ignoring him, running after this chair.
well, I mean,
Um,
too much other
yeah.
shit going on in life at that time. So yeah, so they're on a boat. Cat's on another boat.
Yep.
They kind of have a wee discussion about things. Like he's a chair now because he's like, what's happening with me? Because he didn't realize he was a chair
Yeah.
yet.
Yes, that's right. They're sitting under a stairwell in the ferry, and she's like, "Oh, I brought some food," and he's like, I don't think I eat.
I'm not hungry. Yeah,
I'm not hungry." And she's like, "Oh, well, I'll eat, and then we'll get to where we're going." Uh, they fall. Well, she falls asleep, and then we get to the next morning where This is just incredible. It's so good. She wakes up and he was just stood as a chair as he would, but
Uh-huh.
then she wakes up and he's face first, like decked over, like he's fallen asleep face first. It's so good. Oh man.
Yeah,
That got a big reaction when we were in the cinema. Like I think everybody found that genuinely very, very funny.
I found it funny that you found it funny. I
Oh
think it was
man.
your contagious laugh. There was a lot of things you laughed at, and you were like,
Oh
okay,
yeah, that guy thinks it's funny.
yeah, yeah.
I
Oh,
think this movie was definitely attuned to my sense of humor. Like
oh
just a
yeah.
lot of little absurdities in
Well,
stuff that's really good.
it is full of comedy moments. Um,
Yeah.
and the seriousness of being a chair.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
I
All the
mean,
seriousness of being a chair.
all the seriousness of being a chair.
Um,
So yeah,
but they
you can't.
arrive at where is it they're going? It's Ehime or Ihime. I don't know how
Uh,
it's pronounced. Uh,
me.
no, there's no pronunciation guide here, so I'm just gonna go with me being that. That's what it was. That's where they're going,
Okay.
which is, as you mentioned earlier, east of where they are,
Yeah,
in the eastern island.
yeah. And they're like, "Oh shit, we need to find this keystone." And Sota's like, "No, you got to go back. Get that
Yeah.
ferry and go back." And it's like, no, I can't really be doing that. You're a chair." Like, no, no, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. But you're a chair. No, not even a big chair. You're a kid's chair with 3 legs.
You're a children's chair with three legs, and he's like gradual realization of like, yeah, I can't really do anything, and also people shouldn't see me moving.
Pretty much. But he's still going at it. And then she picks him up and starts carrying him, I think.
Yeah,
But
I they
so
get. I was gonna say I think they got a train, but before that, I was gonna do the whole Ryan George thing. It's like, oh, it's probably going to be really difficult for them to find that Daijin now that he's just escaped. Oh, actually, super easy, barely an inconvenience. It turns out Daijin is super keen on being ultra famous on the internet.
oh yeah, he's proper um what do you call influencer. Wants to be
Oh yeah,
influencer
social
wannabe.
media star, getting in with all the locals.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty great. And they're like, oh well, we know where that is. Let's go this way.
yeah. But interesting thing is when they get on the ferry, right? Is
Hmm.
it on the ferry or it's somewhere and everyone sees him Daijin as a person rather than a cat?
So there's a
Or
bit like that later on, and I was going to mention that as well, where they're in the hostess club and
that was
they
it. Yeah,
refer to Daijin as a person, and
yeah,
I wonder if it's the same thing where there's this projection.
yeah. But every picture is the first influence thing is basically, oh look at this weird cat.
Yep,
Find this cat.
everyone's into the cat.
Yeah,
Everyone's into the cat. Daijin seems to be able to manipulate reality a little bit in a way that's useful
I
to it.
mean,
So
it changed the guy to a chair, man.
it did change a guy into a chair. I find the cat's voice hilarious as well. I showed the trailer to my kids, and they found the cat's voice hilarious. They love it.
Yeah, yeah, it's good cat. It's like meow.
It's just the inflection when it says Suzume, it goes Suzume.
So is it?
It's very sort of lyrical. Yeah, they like that. So I've been desperately trying to find the physical release date for this movie so I can buy it. Um, Unable to find it so far.
I think it should be out soon. I remember.
Hopefully, I know I did find the collector's edition of Your Name on 4K though, so that's been added to my list of things I probably want to get at some point.
Jesus. It was Yeah, it's a while back. I remember seeing this come up in something. I can't remember because they were showing like the trailer for it then. I was like, wow.
Yeah,
And I that was last year, and now it's out, and I was like, what?
it's crazy. I think I'd stumbled across the trailer for it a while ago as well, and I only really caught notice of it when I think Crunchyroll got their money behind it
Hmm. Yeah,
for the
Crunchyroll.
worldwide stuff. So
Yeah, Crunchyroll got into that. So yeah. So do they get on a train now? You said.
yeah, they get on a train, and that kind of takes them to the next bit, which is sort of an out of the way green area of the country, and they're walking down a road. She's carrying him because they're trying not to draw too much attention. I think they're even trying to get a ride, like hitch a ride, and he's like, you're doing it wrong. You're not doing this right. And she's like, well, you can't do it, so I'm gonna have to. And then a bike courier with a bunch of crates of oranges
Hmm.
is passing,
Yeah.
and one of the crates falls off as they're driving past, and all the oranges start to roll down this hill. Um, and Suzume's like, "Oh no, I don't know what to do." But quick thinking, Chair Suta or Sota just darts across the road, picks up a net somehow, and drags half of it back to Suzume and back across the road. And he's like, "Pick up the net, and I'll pick up the net, and we'll catch all these oranges." And they do. And the messenger, the bike messenger, whose name I think is Chica.
Chica, maybe Chica. Yeah.
She's like, "Oh my god, that was amazing! How did you even do that?" He's like, yeah, thanks. You're welcome."
My
So,
wizard. I'm a wizard, Harry.
a wizard did it. Um,
No, she started calling him a wizard.
she does, yeah.
Oh, you a
You're a
wizard?
wizard. Not really, but maybe I am.
Maybe.
Also, potentially, I am mentally ill, and think this chair is a person. It's unclear as to what direction this movie's taking. We've also seen a lot of movies where people are sort of not very well and see a lot of things they probably shouldn't. So
I mean, that's just anime for you.
it's very much that.
Uh,
Which reminds me, we should at some point do Paprika.
that is all about mentally ill people.
Yeah, and then maybe further down the line, what's it called, Paranoia Agent as well.
Oh, the paranoid agent.
Yeah,
Following the same guy here.
yeah. I loved Paranoia Agent. It was real good.
Yeah, the same guy
But
did
yeah,
Perfect Blue.
yes. Which is about a person who's not very well.
Yeah, not the actress.
No. Not who you think is very unwell.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like, oh, you're a wizard, and it's like, oh, this is amazing. And then they look over and see, oh shit, that giant. There's another giant black and red smoking snakes dragon thing coming
Mhm.
out from another door, and she's like, I gotta go. Picks up the chair Suta, and bolts.
Yeah,
Um, and it's like he's like, I don't think we're gonna get there in time. Like this is gonna be bad. It's gonna be real bad. Um,
yeah. More what
and
earthquake warnings.
yeah, but all of a sudden, bike messenger with no oranges comes past and it's like, hey, get on. So Chica very graciously gives them a lift on the bike, and they have the conversations like, oh, where's abandoned near here? And it's an abandoned school, I think,
Yeah,
is this place.
this is a school. Yeah. Uh,
Um, and they get dropped off just outside the kind of abandoned area, and they're like, hey, thanks, cheers, bye.
yeah. And Sota's still trying to do it on his own. It's like, no, you should go. This is too dangerous for you. Blah blah
Yep.
blah. And she's like, "You're a fucking chair, dude.
I don't know how many times we have to say this.
You're a chair." And then
You're a chair.
he's getting to the point where he's trying to close the sliding door with being a chair, and then realizes that he's a chair. He doesn't need the help
Yeah.
because he can't even
So
get his necklace key.
yes. So yeah, they're trying to shut the door. He's trying to shut the door, and he's like, I actually kind of liked what they did here because he's got like one chair leg that's trying to, because it's a sliding door.
Mhm.
and he's like trying to like get using his stool leg like a little foot to move a stone into the track of the door to stop it from rolling back over.
Oh
It was
yeah,
really quite clever. And yeah,
messed
eventually
up.
he can't quite get the door shut. So Suzume uh, does what she needs to do and jumps in, and he gets her to help close up the door
Yeah,
as a
and
closer.
and then the magical lock appears, and she locks the door with her magical lock key lock.
We should say as well is that when this is happening, the big smoke dragon or whatever it is bursts into rain and water falls from the sky
When they shut the door. Yeah,
when they shut the door. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Uh, and then it's all muddy, and I think they have some form of conversation. And then Chica takes them to her place to get some food,
Yep.
and they hang out. She has a sleepover at Chica's place, as it as it were.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's probably also important to say like part of the I think it's at the school bit where because he's having to explain to her more and more about what it means to be a closer, and he's explaining it's like it's about these places are lonely and void of humanity, and that's why they're areas that are problematic.
Mhm.
And as part of the closing process, it's about being able to imagine the people here.
Yeah, because they do see the kids go in to the school when they close the door, I believe.
Yeah. And I
And then
think as well is that I think this is Chica's middle school
yeah,
as well.
she says she thanks. Oh, thanks for taking me back there. Haven't been there in a while. That's my old
Yeah.
school. Uh, I think it was another natural.
Yeah. I think they are mostly like if not all natural disasters, I think certainly the ones we see here are like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, they go back to Chica's. She is Suzume is given a room to stay in, a bed to sleep in, food to eat, clothes to wear.
Oh yeah,
Um,
because she's still wearing her school uniform, and
yeah,
Chica even says, "Wait, where are you from? That's not a school uniform from here."
yeah. It's not. It's very far away. And then she's like, "Oh shit, I haven't spoken to my aunt yet." And looks at her phone, and it's just like bloop 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 bloop. A
Oh
million
no,
messages being like, "Oh my fucking god."
no, I think she spoke to her on the boat. She not sending
She spoke to her
messages.
on the boat, but she said she would get back to her. Like she said,
Yeah,
she was. It's like, "Oh yeah, I didn't go. I'm just going to my friends to study.
yeah, and staying the
I'll be
night.
back tomorrow."
Yeah,
And she's not back.
yeah. And her aunt's looking for her. Well, at least she's still in
Oh yeah,
communication because
she is just
she
not
thinks
great
bad boy is
communication.
taking her away and
What?
showing her
Yes,
some
that's
good
right.
times.
Because she says it's like I was looking in your room and I saw the first aid kit. Did you have a boy in here? It's like no, yes, but no, it's not like that.
Yeah, it's like the only evidence is the first aid kit, and
Oh,
all
it's
of
so
that
good.
means there's a boy.
It does naturally. Uh,
I wonder
the only thing it could possibly mean.
Does Japanese first aid kits have condoms in them?
No, no,
Oh, I wouldn't have
I don't
thought
know.
so.
I don't want to say definitely
But
not, but I'm going to suggest probably not.
I'm, it's just like that's the only explanation I can think of that would spring that into mind. She
Yeah,
had a boy around from the first aid kit.
yeah. Well, after all of this, they spends the night. They part ways in the morning, more friends now,
Mhm.
and they're like, we need to keep going to find Daijin. We'll get the bus. So they're sitting waiting on the bus, and she's like, it's gonna be a long time before the bus arrives here.
Yeah,
I
I
guess we'll
think
just have to wait.
tomorrow. I think
Yeah, it's like tomorrow morning,
so.
and very fortunately, a kind passerby stops and says, "Hey, you'll be waiting a while. Do you want a lift?"
Where are you
And
going?
where are you going? And I'm trying to remember where she's going to next. Da, 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 da.
Rona?
I can't remember where they're going to next. Uh,
Not Tokyo
but
anyway.
it's not Tokyo yet. But the woman's name is Rumi. She is a single parent of two twins, young twins, who are in the back of the car, KO'd after having visited their grandparents. And she's like, "Oh, well, I'm heading that way. I'll take you."
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, that's amazing." So they end up getting there. She ends up getting a phone call uh, about needing to work. I think, yeah, it's definitely needing to work. But she's like, "Oh, but I don't have anyone to look after the kids." And then it's like, "Oh, or do I?"
Yeah. There's the whole scene in the back of the car because has been placed between the two kids.
Oh, that's right, because they have to stop for food at McDonald's.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's a long trip to where they are, and they're just following the agent on social media because he's posting everywhere.
Yep,
Uh,
still.
and then there's a scene in the car where the kids are there, like having a wee look at the chair because he sort of keeps kind of like fidgeting a bit,
Yep.
and then they have like it's like, oh, leave Suzume's chair alone. It's not yours. Don't touch it. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
and then he's kind of there completely still. Then they have the McDonald's project placement, uh, and then one of the kids is about to knock over the drink. It starts to shake and
And
sort of
it
just,
self-corrects.
yeah, and then sort of kind of just like nudges it so it doesn't fall over because it was about to fall over. And then the kids were like, "Wait,
Huh.
did that move?" And it's like, "Leave my chair alone. It's not yours."
And then for a little bit, they are deliberately trying to push over whatever it is, and it's going like, "No, no,
No, yeah,
no."
yeah.
It's pretty good.
Kids are onto it. Anyway, yeah. So Suzume is now the babysitter of the two kids. They do
Yep.
pass,
Uh,
because it was pointed out by Suzume. I think, oh, there's a Ferris wheel,
and yeah.
and
And
then
Rumi says it's like, "Oh, that's
that's
the
the
old
old
amusements.
mm-hmm, amusement park.
Haven't been there since I was a kid."
Yeah, I'm like, oh,
And it was abandoned, not for natural disaster reasons. I don't think this time it was just abandoned purely because it ran out of money to run.
yeah, I think so. It's just stop fair and there's too much to repair and too much cost. So anyway, so she starts looking after the kids.
But upstairs from the bar, I should point out, because basically Rumi works as a hostess in a hostess bar.
Mhm.
Um, so the kids are upstairs with Suzume, uh, and I think at one point it's like that she's eventually like, "Oh, well, fuck it, let's bring Sota into this," and like has puts one of the kids on it and makes Sota walk them across the room because they're being annoying.
Something like that. I think they were after the chair again because they knew there's something up with the
Yeah,
chair. And then
and
she goes, "Oh, this is
yeah,
my robotic chair." And then this,
it has AI.
yeah,
Did it speak? It has AI as well. Hey, chair, play this song.
yeah, they start
That's what
talking
one
to
of the kids says.
like a Google Home or Alexa,
It's
Amazon
so good.
Alexas.
So good. It's so funny. This dumbass kid. I hate those kids. They're so annoying.
Yeah.
Job
Uh,
done.
anyway, they get to put to sleep, and then Suzume comes downstairs and is then put to work in the bar
Yep.
because
She's
the
serving drinks. Oh no, no, she's not serving drinks to start with. She's cleaning up in the back at first, I
yeah,
think.
That's because the other hostess was like, "Yeah, you can't be having a kid work here for me.
That's right.
Let's just do
Yeah.
the dishes at the back." So all right, and
And
then
I think there's then there's another is there not another phone alert of everyone at the bar?
yeah, there
Because
was.
Daijin is in. This is the bit where Daijin's in the bar, and
Mhm.
they're referring to the big spender customer across the way, and she's like, that's a cat."
Yeah, she sees him as a cat, but everyone has also seen him as a dude. And then he looks and goes, "Oh shit!" And then kind of like, "Gotta go." And they're
Yeah,
like, "Oh no, he's gone."
and so she bails out after him, abandoning her responsibilities as a new dishwasher,
Yeah,
and yells up to Sota in the flag. And he's like, "Hey, Daijin, he's this way," and he's like, "Oh," bails out the window.
yeah.
That chair loves to jump out windows.
It's
Um,
very dramatic when it jumps at Windows, man.
yeah, he's now getting a bit better about using his three legs as well. Like
Yeah,
he's getting that rhythm for running.
it's got the
Yep,
rhythm to run. Yeah, so he runs after Titan, and they end up at the amusement park where they see the big
yep,
smoke.
yep. Where we see that the door this time is one of the carousels of the Ferris wheel.
Yeah, and so Suzume is trying to close the door while
Yep.
Daijin and Sota have a big, massive fight off, running up roller coasters and shit.
Yeah, it's a dramatic chase sequence between a cat and a chair across a lot of electrical wiring and theme park equipment.
Yeah, until I think Daijin jumps off like the top of the roller coaster and sort of falls
Oh, he
until it.
tackles him like midair.
Oh, hang on, they were both kind of like on opposite sides, and then
Yeah,
and they kind of like one jumps off, another one spears him to the ground, like
yeah,
edge
pretty
style.
sneaky. Gets him diagonally.
Yeah, edge style, and they go into the electrical thing. It controls the Ferris wheel, I think.
Yep.
Maybe
Yeah,
not.
that's what it. No, yeah, I
All the
think it's the
lights
whole
come on.
theme park because
Yeah,
all the lights come on. The Ferris wheel starts going with Suzume like, I haven't closed this yet.
yeah,
This is a problem. But of course, Sota is hell bent on yelling at Daijin, saying it's like, you need to be the Keystone again. Stop being a dick.
and then Dyson is like, "Well, actually, you're actually the thing," and he's like, "What? No."
But he says it's like vaguer than that. He's like, oh, that's not my job anymore.
Yeah,
Seems like something you might be able to help with.
yeah,
It's like, the fuck are you talking about?
yeah. What? All the while, Suzume is kind of climbing up into the air in
Yep.
the Ferris wheel, trying to shut this door, um, and then jumps into the carriage. Way,
She has to get inside and it takes her to the place.
yeah, and she starts dreaming about seeing her mother again,
Yeah.
and she's walking through the carriage to the other
Like
side of the carriage.
the other side. Yeah, like she's
Yeah,
gonna fall out.
but she does.
Fortunately, she doesn't. So
Yeah, she doesn't see that, and then Sota kind of climbs up the
yep.
Ferris wheel and jumps in to save her.
Yes. He abandons his fight with Daijin and just focuses on saving Suzume, who he
Yeah,
pulls back and they eventually manage to get the door shut. Um but of course now they're at the top of the Ferris wheel. So
yeah. Inside the carriage.
yes. So they wait inside. And this is where he sort of explains what it is that he's seeing, or
There's,
what it is that she's seeing. Like it's like it's the what you're seeing is the afterlife. It's the ever after. It's where people go, where souls go after they die, and that's why she could never be there. Like she could when she was going through that door, she could see it, she could glimpse it, but she could never stay in it because she doesn't belong in it.
yeah, she can't get into it. Uh, And then they go back and stay at
Yep.
Rumi's, and Rumi's
Yeah, they
like,
do. This is well, yeah, she's sort of happy she's back because she was worried.
yeah. And then I think there's a talk about contacting her aunt, make sure your aunt knows what you're up to.
Yep.
And there's some dreams in that. Is there a dream sequence here where Sota starts
Yes.
dreaming that he's on a beach,
Freezing.
freezing
Yeah,
cold?
so this is we see well, the funny part first is where he's like standing up normally and then just kind of goes
But
as a chair and falls asleep.
yeah,
We should say as well is like she has trouble waking him up, and he doesn't remember going to sleep. It's not a conscious thing. And I think what's happening is that he's losing himself a little bit,
yeah,
like because he's going to he I think presumably he's actually kind of in the ever after at this point,
yeah, at the door.
and he's at the door, he's slowly freezing. And most mornings it seems that he wakes up with Suzume shouting after him.
Yeah, or sneaking a kiss.
Oh
Dum
yeah,
dum dum.
it's which part of your chair is your face?
I think that was on the boat when she's first trying
Is
to
that
wake
on
him
the
up.
boat? Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
and then I think this time she gets to kiss him.
No, I think this time before she's asking the question. This time she's leaning in for a kiss, and he kind of wakes up before that happens. He's like, Suzume, were you doing something?" No,
No,
no, not at all.
no, I didn't do anything. I suppose you
Definitely not.
don't really see the kiss. I suppose
No,
because they've got
definitely not
the back of the
any
chair in front of the face.
non-consensual kissing.
Yeah. Um. There's scenes of like obviously I think when she's sleeping or that she gets other scenes like back like I said she
I,
gets scenes of her mother and building and her memories essentially of her mother, and then there's another scene where she's in the snow freezing and her aunt
yes.
collects her, but I think that's maybe later on. I get that.
Those are kind of sporadic throughout the whole movie. I think there's little glimpses of that scene before it eventually comes full circle.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, at this point, they then um,
go
leave
to Tokyo.
Rumi's,
Yeah,
and they go to Tokyo.
because that's
Uh,
where Denji's is at now because he's on social media sending them pictures. So like,
yeah,
I'm here now, bitches, come
and
get me.
also should be noted, I suppose, that it's probably mentioned before now, but Sota is a teacher in training, so he's studying, um, and it's that he lives in an apartment in Tokyo, and that's where they're going to go. They're going to go to this apartment in Tokyo.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that's because that's where Denji is. And he's like, oh, I know Tokyo. I live
Daijin,
there. Yeah, Daijin.
Denji's Chainsaw Man.
Oh, too many Dens.
Yes,
Dennis the Menace.
him too. But yeah, they get to the apartment,
Oh,
and they're I think looking. Oh, go ahead.
there's other bits. So it flashes back to the aunt. So the aunt's just not texting. She's had enough texting her and now
Oh
looking,
yeah,
and the man who has a crush on her,
I can't remember
essentially,
his name.
yeah, he essentially goes, "Oh, do you got access to our bank,
Her bank account. Yeah.
bank account?" It's like, yeah, I can see the statements on that. Yeah, well, you can trace out what she's doing from that. It's like, ah, good plan. And then they do that, and then she's kind of spent
It's-
all her money on a train ticket to Tokyo. I think a
yes.
bullet train too.
Yeah, it is a bullet train. Actually, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so they get to Tokyo in a few hours.
Yeah. It's the other thing as well is that the aunt's like, yeah, fuck this, I'm going.
Yeah,
She's determined now. She's just gonna drag her home.
yeah.
Um, which fair enough. So she sets on her way
I,
to
I
to
can't.
go and find Suzume.
Yeah, I can't also remember, but there's a bit in it where Suzume is like, "I've always felt like I held my back from getting a boyfriend and stuff like that."
Yes, yeah. I think yeah, that's like her deep-seated fear is that she is. I think it's when they're talking about like won't your aunt miss you? Won't you should be worried? And she's like, she will, but like I've been a bit of a hindrance to her my whole life. Um, which is
Yeah,
yeah, like I think one of the things I love about this movie is how effortlessly it floats back between sort of being really sort of funny and humorous and just well-meaning to sort of more deep and meaningful and somber at times as well. I think it's really quite incredible how it does that with very little issue at all.
yeah. It's when she's at Rumi's and that Rumi's kind of, I think she mentions her as a lost girl or something like that,
Yes, that's right.
because
That's
obviously
right.
it kind of almost takes me back to Tokyo Godfathers,
Yeah.
because that was how the other person was. He found, I think, was it the mother, the queer? Is that the right term?
Uh, I think it was the transgender uh member of the crew
Yeah,
was yeah. I think it's that you're right. It's like sort of about people who feel displaced
yeah,
and don't feel part of the wider world that everyone else is a part of. And like as we've seen sort of as you're gradually starting to get a part more of a vision of is like Suzume has never been just a part of the normal world. That's why she's kind of there's obviously all like since she was a little girl, there's always been this link to that place.
yeah.
And it kind of yeah makes the difference there.
And
But
her
yeah, they
mother was kind of the same from seems like it. She was kind of like a single mother raising
yes,
her on her own, and is kind of knew how to do stuff like she was able to make a chair for her and stuff like that.
yeah, it's quite interesting.
Hmm.
This is where also like so when now that they're in the apartment, it's the whole sort of conversation with Sota explaining about the myth of the 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 worm, the Namazu, I think,
Maybe. Yeah.
and like how it's basically it was being held at bay by the two keystones, the western one, which is now free, and the eastern one, which is still in place.
Yeah.
Um, and of course, like we this I think this is where there's a knock at the door. Is it?
There's a knock at the door. They also have a conversation because he's left his key, a spare key, with the shop down below. Who are like, "Oh,
That's right.
Sota! When Sota come back? We love Sota." And Suzume's a bit jealous, I think, of that, of the
Yeah.
tension. He's like, just pay no attention to them. Yeah, and then you get the knock at the door, which is Sota's friend,
Serizawa.
Sarazawa, who's basically like, "Oh wait, Sota, where are you?" And Suzume's, "Oh wait, you're not Sota.
No, it's,
I
oh, I'm his cousin.
I'm his cousin." And also, wait, what? He's missed an exam. He's missed
Oh,
the reset.
that's right. He missed an exam,
Missed
and
two.
that's why Serizawa was there. He's like he's worried about him.
Yeah.
Um, and hey,
Or
if you hear from him, you
yeah,
should tell him to get in touch.
because he owes me 20,000
He owes
yen.
me 20,000 yen.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he leaves.
Yeah.
Um, and then I
So
think
this is when the next worm smoke
Pierce.
cloud thing uh appears. And it's fairly close, so they start to run to it.
Mhm.
Um, but they notice that actually it is close, but it's coming out of a subway tunnel. So you see a train driving through it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we tried.
Yeah. And then they jump on top of the train, don't they?
Uh, I thought what happened was is they just grabbed onto the side of the giant worm
Oh yeah, no, yeah, they got on the jump side of the giant worm and went to the top.
because Suzume, like to everyone else's view, basically leaps off the side of this roadway and just floats into the sky at high speed.
Yeah. Uh, she can't really stay on the worm.
No, no,
Uh,
it's too the surface is too unpredictable for her
to hold.
to keep a footing, and she falls.
She starts to fall, yeah. But then it gets caught again.
Yep.
And then so what did they do with this one then?
So I'm trying to remember how this bit goes, but
Is this a bit
basically
is how he goes because he disappears at this point.
they end up somehow. I think she does actually just fall.
Yeah, she does start falling. And then
But does she not just die? Does Daijin save her?
Daijin, yeah, I think Daijin saves her. She basically gets hit because the cat's on the serpent of fall, I think.
Oh wait, it like Daijin like becomes a big fluff ball around her,
Yeah, as she
and
falls, yeah.
yeah, and they fall, and she wakes up uh with the ability to get to the door. Um, or is it too late?
No, there isn't an earthquake.
No, I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure. Is it not this point where Soto Cow commits himself to being a keystone and is buried into the serpent?
I think that's what happens. Is basically they go through the door to find the root of it all. Is that
Uh,
this bit, or is that after?
that's after. I thought because they're on top of the dragon serpent, and I'm sure then she turns into a keystone and kind of stops it,
Oh yeah, you're right.
and then it
I
pops,
think
and then she falls, and then Denji comes out, yup, and saves her by turning to the big fluff ball. She falls, and then she lands in front of the big gate shrine thing and sees. I can see into it and sees Denji on the other side.
yeah, you know what? You're totally
Not
right.
Denji,
What happens is the reason
sort
she
of.
falls is that she commits Sota
Yeah,
to the worm. That's what it is. Yeah, because the
because
Daijin basically says, "Oh, how have you not got this yet? This it's not my problem anymore. It's your problem. You're the keystone now. You fix this."
yeah,
And I think I think there's a part of Sota that's kind of known this was coming, and yeah, we have a very sort of tearful goodbye as Suzume agrees to, save the city.
yeah, yeah. Eventually, so
Yeah,
that's that, and she falls, and then in front of the shrine, and she can see through into the
the ever after. Yeah,
ever
that's right.
after. I could see Sota there as a chair,
Yeah,
and it's just like, oh, I can't get to that. Damn it.
yeah. And
Uh,
Daijin's like, "Oh, but it's cool. Now that he's gone, I'll be your cat, and
yeah,
this is going to be awesome."
you can play with her, play with me, and
Yeah,
then
and Suzume's like, absolutely fucking not. You're a
right,
monster."
yeah, go away. How
She
dare
gets a
you?
bit physical with the cat as well, like kind of like
Yeah,
dropping him in the water, and it's like, "Stay away from me. I don't want to talk to you."
pretty much.
And we see Daijin like it's like that moment in The Simpsons where Bart's like showing the bit where Ralph Wiggum's heart breaks. flicking through. It's like you can see the moment that Daijin is completely heartbroken because he becomes a malnourished, dying cat.
Well, that's it. So if we go way back to the start, the when they're having a discussion,
Yeah,
and when Sota's still Sota and Suzume is still Suzume, and they were sitting in the chair, the cat comes and she goes, "Oh, there's a cat here. It looks like it's hungry," and she
yep,
feeds it some food, and then
that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like instantaneously it's like, "Ooh, look, I'm completely healthy and normal again." And then basically tells Sota to go away because I can't remember if he said something like, "You shouldn't be probably feeding that," or something like that.
Yeah, I just enjoy. I just remember very vividly the cat saying, "You're in the way,"
Yeah, that's it. You're in the way. Boop.
and just disappears.
I think
But
Suzume's. Oh, she was looking at the cat, and then he just. Yeah, he
yeah,
just. Anyway, back to
but
Tokyo.
well, yeah. That so obviously now, like she's gone back out of the door into like back up to the surface, and it's a door and a kind of an underground driving like motorway tunnel. And she gets out. Sota had mentioned that his grandfather was also a closer, and that he would have liked to have gone to see him, but he had been too ashamed because he was a chair now. Um,
Yeah,
and
he's in hospital.
he's in hospital. So Suzume's like, "Well, I'm gonna go and visit him.
Sneaks in.
I need to." Yeah, sorry.
She sneaks in. She doesn't even go on like waiting
She didn't
time for
know.
him.
She just gets in that hospital,
Yeah.
and she sort of tells him about what's happened, and he's like, "Well, can't say I'm surprised. Sota is not the best at this. He's never committed enough." Uh, and then he's like, "But what you're telling me, the fact that you can see things." He kind of explains to her about how the fact that she can see it and she was able to do that in the first place means that she's been there in the past. And then we start to link that back to the beginning of the movie. Um, and he says, and more importantly, is like, if you want to save Sota, because she says that she doesn't want a world without him.
Hmm.
That's what she doesn't want to imagine. So he's like, well, in order to get to him, you need to go to the ever after, and in order to get to the ever after, you need to know where that door is.
Yeah, he basically says that. He says it in like a. The conversation kind of starts in like an unkind way.
Oh, it's mostly unkind. I don't think
Uh,
there's ever a moment where I was like, "Oh, it's so nice of him." He's very grumpy and very upset, and
but
doesn't like his nephew, his grandson, all that much.
uh, I don't know.
He's not that upset that his grandson is now a chair and is condemned to a never after as a frozen chair, and he's like, "Yeah, well,
He,
probably
he
would happen to him."
he did say he saw the serpent as well, and he said I would have gone and done it
Yes,
myself, but obviously I'm
my
bedridden.
body wouldn't let me.
Yeah,
The mind was willing, but my body wouldn't let me.
yeah, and he's lying in bed. I mean, lying in bed all day kind of going to make you grumpy. I think.
Oh, for sure.
Uh,
It's just I think if someone brings you the news that your grandson is gone forever, that maybe you have some form of emotional reaction to it,
but he
which
did
he does
have.
not.
He does.
Does he?
Yeah, I
Does
mean,
he?
what type of emotion are you talking?
Oh, like
Sorrow?
if an emotion. Well, I don't know if sorrow would be the one I would have said that he had, but
Oh
it's more
no, he
like,
was.
yeah, I guess
He,
that would happen.
he was annoyed. He was,
Is feigned surprise an emotion?
yeah, he was annoyed. That
Yeah, well,
happened.
long story short, the grandfather's a bit of a dick, but he does sort of give Suzume the information that she needs. So she then is like,
Eventually,
well, eventually, she's like, in order to fix this, I need to bring Sota back, and in order to do that, I'm gonna need to go back to my hometown.
yeah, which is further north. Uh,
Is it for? Yeah, is it
is
further?
Yeah, I think it's further north.
Yeah, it is. No, you're totally right. You're totally right. It is.
So
Uh,
she lives like in the she used to live in like the north of Japan
and now she's
compared
in the south of Japan.
very south of Japan on
Yeah,
islands.
we've traveled quite a distance at this point.
Yeah.
Um,
So as she's leaving, there's a big cat appears at the window,
oh yeah,
and he goes, "Right, well, I suppose you better keep an eye on her." And then he leaves. The cat leaves,
yeah.
and then she either gets out of the hospital or is going to get the station, and she bumps
I think she's
into
going to yeah, she's going to the train and meets Sarazawa, who's in a nice fancy sports car.
yeah, saying, "Oh, have you spoke to Sota yet?" And she's like, "Ah, about that, we need to go here together or something."
Yeah, and it's like, and he'll be there.
Hmm.
Yes, he will. Um, and he's like, because that's a long way. So, but I guess he does owe me money,
Yeah, 20,000 yen.
20,000 yen, which he says again.
And
But this is where it gets absolutely glorious, where the aunt appears from the train station. Is like, the fuck? There's Suzume talking to a guy, and
yeah,
just gets on up in the conversation and starts shouting at Sarazawa for trying to get something from a young teen girl.
pretty much. And he's like, "What?"
It's like,
And
whoa, whoa, no, not what this is.
yeah, yeah. And
Amazing.
then also, didn't she also manage to talk to Rumi on her journey? Because she has like a journey. It seems to track her through all these places.
I can't remember that bit. There's at the end credit sequences we see everybody again, like her revisiting everyone. That's all I really remember about sort of the other cavalcade
Yeah,
of characters that kind of get brought through the show, the movie. But eventually, the aunt's like, "No, you get back, get in the train. God damn it, we're going home." And she's like, "No, no, I don't want to do that." And just like jumps and stands up and gets into Sarazawa's car. He's like, okay, okay. And she's like, "Come on then, let's go."
let's
And the
go.
aunt's like, "Well, fuck it," and gets in the car with them.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so weird.
And then they drive off and have like
Yep,
a road trip
they do have a
with
road trip, and it's also amazing.
where he plays mostly inappropriate songs on his Spotify list.
It is incredible. He chooses so many songs that are about fights and like people not getting along, and it's just like, oh, this is you're just like twisting the knife here. This is incredible. And he's just smoking out the window, and
What
he's loving it.
window?
Oh yeah, that's right. It's a soft top. It's a
Convertible.
convertible. So yeah, he's just enjoying a leisurely cigarette and kind of listening to his music, singing along,
Hmm.
enjoying like needling the pair of them because it's fun. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so he's loving it. And they stop at a rest stop. Oh
Ah,
no, wait, sorry. It starts to rain. That's what
this is the
happens.
best bit. Yeah.
And yeah, Tamaki's like, "Oh, can you put the put the roof up?" And he's like, "Yes, I can." And just like this is we talked about the comedic timing of this movie, and this is like proper spot on comedic timing because he of course like from the intonation you're like, oh well, this doesn't sound like it's going to work. He's going to push the button and nothing happens, and he pushes the button and it like goes through it's this beautiful mechanism of like unfolding and just bringing it up, and it's just about to place the roof on when it stops about half a foot short.
Yeah. So everyone in the back is fine. Anyway,
Yeah,
and he goes, "Ah, yeah, it still doesn't work."
yeah, yeah, that's right. He says at the end of it, like he's surprised, he's like, I guess it doesn't work still. Oh, it's so good. And then he's like, "Don't worry, we're like really close to a rest stop." And then it's like, "How long is it? 35 kilometers. That's not really close.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. And of course they eventually do get to the rest stop.
Mhm.
Um and this is like I think this scene is really I it, not that it doesn't belong in the movie because it's really something.
Mhm.
Uh but it feels a little it's a little out of left field.
Yeah, the aunt and Suzume has a big argument.
Yeah. So Suzume was talking to Sarazawa and he's like, oh, she's like, oh, I'm gonna go, she goes back to the car and the aunt's like, uh why are we doing this? This is really like I can't believe we're doing this. It's like you're always doing these sorts of things, and just you can tell by the way that she's talking that it's just that I think I suppose like you're originally supposed to think it's like she's kind of reached her limit. She's had enough now. She doesn't want any more of this.
Mhm.
And then we start to hear things like it's like I can't even have people over to the house. Who wants to come over to a house with someone with a kid? And it just progressively becomes more and more like that conversation you'd mentioned earlier on. Like every deep fear that Suzume had ever had about how she was perceived by her aunt, it turns out it's like, oh, she absolutely thought that, and she's going to
Yeah,
let me know it right now.
yeah.
And it gets really awkward and heated
Mhm.
until she passes out.
Oh, there's the cat appears behind her. The big cat.
Does it appear behind her? For yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. I couldn't remember if that happened after she passed out, but yeah, you're right. The cat
No,
appears, big cat appears behind her.
yeah. And then I think also Daijin appears as well at the same time because he's still
Well,
following Suzume. Suzu
yeah, that's right.
Suzume.
And then yeah, the it's Daijin and Sada Daijin,
Yeah.
and
Uh,
I love that he. Of course, after this all happens, it's like kind of whoa, that was really heavy.
mhm.
And Sarazawa comes back, and now there's Suzume and two cats. One of them much bigger than the other cat,
Yeah.
and the aunt, and he's like, "Okay, I guess we'll
Yeah.
keep going." Like, like what do I do with this?
What's good? Uh,
He just goes with the flow entirely, and it's
mhm.
amazing.
And then they get another montage of in inappropriate songs for the journey,
That's right.
and I
They
think
continue.
Suzume starts singing along with it too.
She does.
Uh, anyway, and then is that then they kind of get to the town. Arza.
No, 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 no. So they get a certain distance from the town, and then they
Oh,
get in a car accident where the car swerves, and it's like, oh, I think it's going to be okay, and it's like, oh no, it's going down a ledge, and it
yeah.
just kind of just falls forward and bumps its nose on the
Mhm.
ground below, and the airbags just go immediately.
Yeah.
But then there's like a couple of seconds of silence, and then all of a sudden the roof mechanism kicks in again
Yeah.
and closes perfectly. It's so good. And he's like, "Oh, I guess that's fixed." And then immediately opens his door, and the door literally falls off its hinges.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
He 100% bought a wreck. I think he admits that as well during the journey. He's like, "Yeah, I
He
did buy a
does.
wreck, but it's the looks that counts, like, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
100%."
That whole sequence is just absolute gold. And then Suzume's like, "How far are we?" It's like he's like, "Oh, probably like 10 kilometers." She's like, "Ah, I can do that." And he checks the thing. It's like, "Actually, it's 20." Like,
Yeah.
never mind. Thank you very much for getting me this far. Bye. And
Uh,
she and the cats bail out. I think.
yeah. Start walking along the road, I think, and then the aunt uh picks up an old rusty bicycle from the thing, and then kind of
Nearby.
Yeah, and then they pick him up, and then you can see her like pushing on the bike. Her Suzume is just riding the back, and it's like that is one hell of a rusty bike.
Yep.
That is hard going,
And
but
the cat's in the front,
yeah, and
just sat there.
but the ant pedals and
Yep.
gets there.
The whole way.
Yeah, she gets
The
there.
whole way.
And then they find the door.
Well, I think what happens first is she uncovers her book of memories from when she was young, from the foundation of her old house,
Oh yeah, she has
because it was
a
buried nearby. It's like a
uh,
little journal.
what's thingy tin time capsule.
Yeah, 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 and it's got like her little diary in it, and she finds the page that has the drawing of the door,
Oh
uh,
yeah, because like
and she's like, "Oh
throughout
shit, it's over here."
throughout the movie, there's kind of been flashing back to her writing, blacking out the pages.
Yes, that's right. And
It,
that's everything after the door
I think that
gets
was
blacked out
kind of like they got
because
the door at one
she's.
point. She's got the
Oh
door,
no,
and then
sorry.
it's before the door, and then
It's before. Sorry, you're right. Because apologies. It's in Japanese, so it's starting at the back and going.
yeah,
Yeah, you're right. It's everything before the door is blacked out, and then there's the door,
yeah,
which is literally just in the field nearby, next to I think it's a lamppost or a telegraph post.
yeah,
And they
something
find
like.
the door on the ground,
Hmm.
or she does, and she puts it up, opens the door, and sure enough, it's the road through to the ever after.
Yeah, don't we have a like conversation also what happened to her mum, how she passed?
Well, she was so basically, yeah. I think this is where we have a bit of more of the flashback to do with the chair as well, and it's the idea that it all comes full circle to there was an earthquake, a bad one, in 2011, uh, and it her her mum, who was a nurse, was killed. She was. I don't think they ever found her, basically.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's it.
Um,
And then
and
else,
I think there are a lot of kind of audio memories of her remembering what people were saying about that as a child. Like how
yeah,
terrible and
she's living alone. And the aunt is like also the Leo guardian,
yep,
essentially. So anyway, she opens the door, sees the afterlife,
yep,
and she jumps through the door,
she does,
and she's
and
in
it's
the
a
afterlife.
hellscape in there.
It is a hellscape in there, and also the door is not on the ground level.
No, it is not. She falls for a fair bit,
Yeah,
and we do the cat thing again, where the cat provides a kind of impact barrier for the landing. But yeah, there's a lot of fire. Everything's crumbling down. The
mhm,
worm
mhm.
is
There,
raging
yeah,
inside and
hmm,
trying to escape through the door,
yep,
potentially to repeat uh, the earthquake of 2011. And she sees Sota on
hmm,
sort of a mountaintop, frozen and pushed into the mountaintop.
hmm,
Um, and basically, I think what happens is the big cat Sedajin starts fighting the worm.
yeah, because the big cat gets
It's a
bigger.
key. Yeah, it gets bigger, and it's like I'm gonna try and stop this thing.
Hmm.
Um, and of course, Suzume and Daijin are making their way towards Sota, and they eventually get to him. Um, and it's her desire to take him back and take him through the door and bring him back to life as a person. Um,
Yeah,
and it's like she doesn't care if doing that is going to cause an earthquake, um, for
yeah,
whatever reason that is, and is just keen on removing him.
Yeah.
Um, however, Daijin, in a sort of like weird turn for the books, is like, no, it's okay. I'll
Yeah.
uh, I'll go back,
Yeah. He'll he'll go back
and
as the.
actually kind of sad, even though Daishin's terrible.
Yeah, yeah. He was a bit of a dick.
Um, but yeah, it's really interesting how that changes, and yeah, Daijin returns to being the Keystone, and Suzume uh, manages to wake up Sota from that frozen dream state, and we see him sat at the other side of that door, and
Yeah.
her coming through the door to pull
But
him through.
yeah, because he was sitting on a beach next to the door, getting frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they go through, and then she sees her younger self.
So yes. So this is where it kind of comes full circle, I
Hmm.
think. Well, so basically, Daijin and Sada Daijin, they managed to reseal the worm,
Yeah,
and they managed to stop it from leaving the ever after. And
yeah,
then yeah, we Sota actually notices the child, which, as we see, is Suzume from that time ago.
hmm,
Um, and she remembers how she'd gotten into the ever after, uh, kind of looking for her mother.
yeah,
She had stumbled across the door and gone through, and I think we where we kind of see that it's really interesting here is that it's kind of a weird time paradoxy type thing where, of course, at the very start of the movie, we hear that figure finding young Suzume and calling out to her,
hmm,
and the assumption is it's the mother.
yeah.
Actually, it's not.
No, it's
It's just her.
yeah, or Sota. No, it's
Well,
her. It is her.
it's her. It's
Uh,
definitely her because she then kind of has a bit of a conversation with her, um, and I think that's she sees Sota, she sees Suzume, and I think, like you say at the start, where she sees him on the hill, she's like, "Why do I know that face, that person?"
hmm.
And it kind of links back to that moment
Yep.
in the Ever After
Hmm.
from 12 years ago, uh, and essentially we kind of find out that the older Suzume comforted her younger self, told her that things were going to be okay, that she was going to be cared for, and like explains to her, I think, uh, your mum, she's gone, and you have to accept that, but it's going to be okay. And she leads her back out the door so that she can be found by Tamaki um, later.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, also, doesn't she take the chair?
I think. Oh, she gives her the chair. That's right.
Yeah,
She's like, "This is really important. Um, you're gonna want to have this with you always."
yeah,
And yeah, she leads her out the door. Tamaki finds the young Suzume and the chair huddled together in the snow. Um, and then Suzume and Suta leave the Ever After
yep,
and make it back to uh, the field outside of her old house.
yeah. And the aunt's there, and so is the dude. What's his
Oh,
name?
Sarazawa.
Sarazawa, yeah.
Yeah,
Has made it in a car?
yeah,
He got his car out of the ditch.
managed. Yeah,
And and then you find out he asks Suzume, he's like, "Oh, did Sota say anything about that money?" And she says, "No." Oh, that's good because I've been lying. I actually lent 20,000 yen.
A nice little bit of timing comedy again.
Yeah.
No,
Uh,
it's awesome.
and then they drive home. Um,
Well, he drives home.
yeah,
Sarazawa drives home. Suzume says goodbye to Sota at the train station
in Tokyo.
in Tokyo. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, they drive back first. Yeah, you're right.
yeah. So they go back to Tokyo and then says goodbye to Sota, and then they do their wee walk and visit everyone again, and they go back
Yep,
to they go back to Rumi.
yep, and
Uh,
Chika as well, and meet her parents.
yeah, but doesn't what's his name drive them from there?
Sarazawa, maybe he does.
Not Sarah Zara, the crush, the what? Because he drives the aunt pretty far along the road to get to Suzume in Tokyo.
Oh, maybe you know what? Maybe you're right. Actually, maybe you're right.
Because and then I think there's maybe a conversation there with about him.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Uh,
Um, but they have a. I think it's nice actually when they say their goodbye. Uh, on the train, there's no kiss. That's not what it was about.
yeah,
It's just a hug.
I mean he's quite a bit older than her, I think.
He is, yes, but I also don't think that would stop them if
Oh,
they wanted to do that.
I mean, I don't think Japan has a law like that as
Eh,
such.
I
I
don't want to
think
think about that.
it's
But
a question.
point is, it's I think it's a nice ending.
Yeah.
Um, and of course, Suzume and Tamaki head back to is it Kyushu, where they're from, and go back to normal life.
Hmm.
And the last part of the movie is her unlocking her bike again, doing that whole close up on the lock,
Yeah.
cycling to school the way she did before, up the hill, and just gets down to the free ride down on the downhill
Yeah.
when she sees Sota walking up the road again,
Yeah. Again,
and that's it.
that's how it ends. How it always ends.
Yes,
That's how your name ended, isn't it?
it is. Yes.
They're like, "Do I know you?" Oh yeah, I do. I do know you. And they come around to each other's arms. I think.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's real good. Um,
There you go.
what's your what? How do you rate this one, Colin?
How I rate it?
Yep,
It's good. Good movie. Got all the feels. Got the
yep,
laughs. Got
yep,
the excitement. The action. It's, you know,
yep,
it's certainly a top rated movie. Oh,
yep.
I don't know. Is it a 10? I would say it's a 10. Would I watch it again? Yeah, probably watch it again. I'll go a 9.
Fair enough. I gave Your Name a 10, and I think I like this more.
Yeah,
So I couldn't not give it a 10. Uh,
could 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 give it not a 10.
I could. I That would be remiss of me though.
Oh,
Um,
I mean,
I'm
give
I'm
it
really
11.
looking forward to watching it with my kids. I think they'll love it. I think they will find it bizarre and weird and fun. Like we talked about the last time, I think as well. Like they really loved. They love things like Spirited Away, and they love things like that what is it, Child of something month, Kaminari
Oh,
month.
Calamari one, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Kamiari. Sorry. Yeah, they like that movie too. Oh, did I? No, I did say that. We watched The Words Bubble Up as well.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah,
That's a bit more.
that's a little
Uh,
more slice of life without the fantasy.
yeah,
But they also I guess what I'm saying is that they like the slice of life stuff as well as the sort of more fantastical stuff. So
yeah.
I think it'll be good. It was one of the best times I've had watching a movie in the cinema. It was really fun. Like just I think the crowd were really into it as well. Like it was a reasonably
Oh,
packed cinema.
except
It
that
was in
guy
its
who fell
original
asleep.
Japanese. Yeah, except that guy.
Except that guy who fell asleep. He was there, dragged there by his girlfriend or something, I
Yeah,
think.
but I think like generally the rest of the cinema seemed to really enjoy it, which was cool. I think it was nice to watch it with a group who appreciated it.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was going with subtitles, and it was a bit
Neither did
annoying.
I. I'm okay with it.
No, I know it's not really complaining about the subtitles. It was just complaining that I was the seating in that cinema isn't.
Yeah, it's not great for
It's,
height.
it's yeah, differentiation, and there was a guy in front of me who was a bit taller.
I had someone whose head was covering the middle of the subtitle. So it's like a couple of letters where I'm like, educated guesses. Hopefully it's not a short word.
Hey, I was yeah. So if I don't know, they always put them at the bottom of the screen,
Yeah,
so it's just a bit awkward if you're in a cinema
yeah, that's true.
with people in front.
Well, I think like it's interesting because I've not seen many uh, anime films in the cinema, and the only other one I've seen with subtitles was Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah.
Because they delivered the when I worked at cinema, they delivered the print to the cinema, but it turns out they had meant to order the English dub and accidentally gotten the subtitles. And I was like, cool, I'll watch it. Which is
Yeah.
great.
Um, I'm trying to think. Well, I've watched an anime in the cinema.
Yeah, it was a real good time, a
Yeah.
real good time, and I'm looking forward to watching it again when
Yeah.
I get the opportunity.
I
So
yeah. I don't think I really have.
no,
No.
well in English we saw Akira, so
Did we? Did we and you go?
yeah we watched Akira
All right. We watched
at the
Akira then.
last whatever anniversary it was.
Oh, talking about anniversaries. Here's
Uh-huh.
a bombshell anniversary. Nothing to do with anime, but Blackadder is apparently his 40th anniversary today.
I heard that. Holy shit.
I mean, this is also
That's
going by the first episodes, not the last.
yeah. That's true. That's true.
The Blackadder the
But
first.
and hence his Comedy Gold will dedicate the month of June to celebrating the much loved comedy series Blackadder. Oh, as the iconic show celebrates its 40th anniversary on the 15th of June.
Oh, it's the 15th of June. All right, so it's not today.
Yeah, so we're not quite hit it yet, but we're getting there.
Not quite here, but no, it just makes you feel old.
Oh, like yes, it does. But
Considering that I
that
was alive
aside,
when it came out.
yes, I was very close. So,
Yeah.
but we'll we've managed to do it again. We've managed to get to another bonus episode. We'll be back again. We're going to do a couple more bonus episodes, as Colin pointed out. We're going to do memories,
Memories.
which is magnetic rose, stink bomb, and cannon fodder are the three different episodes we'll do for those.
Hmm.
We figured we would probably do an episode for each of them to dedicate as much time teach them as possible. And then after that, we'll be starting our angelic layer.
Angelic Layer, yeah.
Sweet.
By Clamp.
Cool. Well, sorry.
By Clamp.
By Clamp, yes.
They're the
But
people at the studio that did it.
what else did they do?
Cardcaptor Secura?
That's right, you said that. Yes, which I have watched some of
I've watched some of that too. That
a while ago.
wasn't terrible.
No,
It was a good
it's
kids show.
definitely closer to Yu-Gi-Oh slash Monster Rancher slash Digimon slash Pokemon.
I'm pretty sure it has an abridged series somewhere on YouTube.
Oh man, I was watching so, I think ages ago I posted the abridged series from Dragon Ball Z with Mr. Popo going, all these squares make a circle, all these squares make a circle, all these squares make a circle. It's like, what's wrong with him? He's like, oh, he just drank a gallon of LSD. A gallon? Yeah, I don't even know where he got it. Straight out of a milk jug. All
Yeah.
these squares make a circle. It's like, Kami, I need you to tell me that I can leave here. Yes, Mr. Popo, you can leave. Bitch, don't tell me what to do. It's good shit.
Yes. Someone recently liked that on the Facebook page.
Yes, that's why I ended up watching it again and again.
I watched it only one.
It's so good. So
Uh,
good. Anyway, we have reached an end of another episode. This is Who's That Anime, an anime podcast. We can be found where all good podcasts can be found. Our home is at anchor.fm/Who's That Anime. We have we don't really get any payment for this, as we've already discussed. We don't really make any money out of this. We just like to talk about anime. But if you want to support the show, you can tell friends if you like it, or you could leave us a review on your podcasting app of choice. We have a Facebook group. That's facebook.com/Who's That Anime, where we post the latest episodes and the occasional anime meme. We have a YouTube channel. If you go to youtube.com and look for @Who's That Anime, Colin painstakingly puts together the video versions of these episodes and posts them up day and date with the audio now, which is awesome.
Yep.
We also occasionally like to play some video games. Colin likes to play video games at twitch.tv/couchfuel and myself at twitch.tv/hailpayman. There is an archive of both of those channels if you go to youtube.com and search for @couchfuel or @hailpayman. And I believe that's us.
Yeah, that's it. That's us done.
Oh, wait. The Discord. I forgot to mention the Discord. You can join the Discord. The link is in the show notes.
Yeah, well, that's us now. That is everything that we have to say about how to follow us online.
That's it.
Isn't it?
It is everything.
Right. Okay, we're good. So, yeah, it's a long one because we're talked about a movie.
Yes. In just under the length of time it took for the movie to be on.
My God, that is the what? That's never happened before.
No, I feel like the last time we did a movie, we were well over. So,
Yeah, what movie was that? Your Name?
Your Name, I think I'm fairly confident we overshot by a significant margin. I also think, well, we definitely did for Azumanga Daioh.
Yeah, I mean that's really hard to do.
I-
Oh, that reminds me. I had an idea.
Oh God.
I had an idea.
Okay.
So you know how like short media form is like the way to do things these days because that's the way you do things these days.
You mean, are you talking about YouTube Shorts and TikTok and?
Yeah, the short media form. Yeah. So I was thinking, right, as you know, there's anime out there that lasts literally minutes. And it was kind of the one it spawned the idea of doing this in the first place.
Oh God, you're right, Chargeman Ken.
Chargeman Ken. And I'm thinking,
I actually had that. I had that on the other day.
why were you watching that?
I think I have the YouTube playlist just saved on my YouTube account, so I was like, "Oh, I'll put this on."
Oh my god. Anyway, so I figured it could be a nice thing to do for the short media form.
Oh man. Okay.
Like,
Okay.
because I don't know what they're about a minute and a half each.
They're not super long. Hang on, I'll check. I think they're slightly longer than that. Um,
There might be 3 minutes.
where's my where are my playlists?
Where's your place?
Uh, Charge Man can. There's 7 minutes long each.
Oh, okay. It's fine. I
Still, we
don't.
could totally discuss that in under a minute.
I think they are. Chargeman Ken finds a bomb in the brain of the scientist, and was it
That's just them to just go.
just yeah? I don't know. I've not actually watched any.
Oh, it's something. Yeah, like hey, we have a TikTok account. We could just put it up there.
We got a TikTok account.
Yeah, yeah.
When did we make a TikTok account?
I don't know. I made it ages ago and posted one video on it. I double check it's still active.
What video did you post on there?
I edited the video just out of curiosity to see what it was like editing videos
TikTok.
on TikTok. Um, it's still there. Uh, so uh, we've got 0 followers,
Uh huh.
1 like,
Nice.
and 171 views.
That's quite successful for our videos. So
Yeah.
last video went up online, and I think what we're at the moment on the channel, the last video it went up on last Sunday. There, we got 7 views of
Oh,
that.
that's Trigun episode 10.
Yeah, got 7 views of that.
Better than our podcast.
Mhm. Yeah, apparently 450 views for the month.
Is that right? Anyway, this seems like a good place to bail out. We'll be back next week with the first episode of Memories, and then we'll be back a couple of weeks after that with other episodes from Memories, and then eventually back with Angelic Lair. But
Mhm.
until then, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, same anime place, same anime time.
Different
No, actually,
anime.
no, not same anime time, because it's set
No,
in the year 2092.
it is set in 2092. You're right.
That's not that far
I
away.
think the same anime place, same anime time is us though.
Oh, what? Wait, it's referring to us. Oh shit.
Yeah, we're the anime place and time.
We're the anime place and time.
Yes, and time.
Anime place, anime time, anime place, place, time, time, time. Do, 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 do.
Bye, folks.
Bye.